Hey, welcome into Bollox Talks and Tangents. It's Thursday, 6:34. We like to start right on time, right, Blake Blevins?
Yes.
That's right. So enthusiastic. That's why we keep him around, Lenny.
Oh, yeah. I love it being on time. Yeah.
Now it's over the top. Now you ruined it, Blake.
Hey.
You just ruined it.
I have to balance everything
Can I
out.
get through the intro? Jeez.
No.
Oh, God. He doesn't realize Christmas is coming.
He's a Nepo baby, you know? He thinks he's got job security.
Yeah, he thinks he does.
Okay.
I'm a senator's son.
Yeah, so he is a senator's son. He's knows he's got that. All right, let's try that again. It's Bollox Talks and Tangents. It's time to get started. I don't know what happened to the intro. My son just stepped all over. All he needed was a yes or no out of him, but he stepped all over everything.
Well,
producer, jeez.
Extraordinaire.
You're a terrible point guard.
He let his talent get to his head last week, didn't
that's
he?
it. He was good. He was good.
Yeah, no, you guys crushed it last week. We're talking about volcanoes this week, though, Lenny.
Boom.
And I didn't. No one told me to turn my sound off.
I did. I told you I'm silencing my phone.
Turn my sound off.
See?
Blake, can you check on that?
Will do.
Okay. Because it just went off on your phone too. But so we're really off to a horrible start.
Someone's just driving by our house.
Okay. All right. Our ring camera. Our
Okay.
ring camera went off and ties at the house. So we gotta. That's how we.
Understood.
We make sure our man's safe, right, Blake?
Hey, you know
Indeed.
All right.
what? Your priorities are in the right place. That's all I'm saying.
They should be.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're talking about volcanoes this week, and I'm about to erupt. I'm having one of those weeks.
Yeah.
I'm having one of those weeks. You know, I got back from Iceland. It was cold as hell. Everything that was supposed to get done last week didn't get done. You guys finished Bollox Talks and Tangents properly.
Okay.
But that was only 1 hour
Well,
of an entire week. Like, I came back to a shitstorm.
my responsibilities were upheld. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you did your part. Blake.
Thank you very much.
Blake did his part. You did
Okay.
your part. But a lot going on in St. Augustine this week.
I'm telling you, it's busy, busy, busy.
A lot going on this week. I
Yeah.
mean, there's so many different activities and events and different things in life.
Mm-hmm.
But the good thing about St. Augustine is we have St. Augustine Distillery. And they have, and I'm going to let you say Apara Sherry Cask Finished Bourbon.
And to be perfectly honest, I'm not quite sure what a Paris sherry is.
I don't know Apara or Sherry. Who the hell either one of those ladies are?
I never dated Sherry. Oh, actually,
Yeah.
I did. Never mind.
Sherry, baby. Oh, sorry.
All right.
Was that terrible?
Yes.
No, but
pretty awful.
Frankie Valli is not feeling threatened even at his advanced age.
Yeah. So
He's tiny.
but it's a sweet
Yes.
bourbon.
Well, that's from the cask, and that's from the
Yeah.
sherry. Absolutely.
It's a sweet bourbon. I mean, it's interesting, and
It's got a beautiful color.
it's got great color.
Beautiful color.
And I wouldn't turn it down
No.
by any means, but I'm more of a harder, and I think you are too on the bourbon side of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's got a little heat to it.
This is like a little bit of a after dinner bourbon.
Sipping whiskey.
Okay. I'm gonna give it that.
It'll work.
All right. But St. Augustine Distilleries, they have the best tasting tours in the nation. It's time for Christmas to be around. If you're looking for something, there's no better place. Get a gift certificate to St. Augustine Distillery or Citygate Spirits. They have so many unique flavors over at Citygate Spirits.
Tons of them. Tons of them.
Get down there, do a tasting tour. Buy one for yourself, buy one for a friend.
And you know what? When you're looking to give gifts, give people a gift certificate for the tasting tour at the distillery or the tasting tour at City Gates. You won't be out of pocket, and they'll never know it's free until they get there.
It's a tasting tour. It's a free tour.
Yeah, they don't know that until they get there.
Also a free tour, but unless you buy something. Meehan's Irish Pub. Meehan's, they have amazing food. They're right there on Sponsor Row. Appreciate them. They've been with us the entire time.
Beautifully decorated for the holidays.
Reggie and the gang. You're going to get punched. Reggie and the gang, they're always a good third place finisher. In the lights.
I'm trying, Reg. I'm trying, baby.
In the lights. Hey, we spent a lot of money on those lights.
I'm trying, Reg.
Reggie does too, and Reggie gets out there and puts them out too. He's always working hard over there.
Yes, he is.
They have amazing staff, amazing food,
great food,
great wine selection, good bourbon selection. They have whiskeys
Great. They've got the largest Irish whiskey selection in the country.
I've never seen any other Irish.
That's fascinating.
I don't even.
Fascinating.
I can't even. I didn't realize that, but that's completely makes sense.
But you go past Jameson, or do you know?
No, I pretty much am a Jameson guy.
All right.
When I'm out, I'm pretty much a Jameson guy. I'll try all the bourbons in the world at home and stuff, but when I go out, I'm pretty much a Jameson guy.
Mainly Jameson and ginger.
Jameson and ginger. That's it.
Not Jameson and Marianne?
No.
Oh my goodness.
I'm a Marianne, but for the drink, I go with ginger.
Okay.
We talked about ginger ale already.
Yeah.
All right, Abare, Kresge and Associates. These guys are the best CPAs in town. There's no doubt about it. You have a nonprofit, you have a business you're starting, you're thinking of starting a business, give them a call. They'll take care of you. All right. St. Augustine Pirate Museum, over 800 artifacts. Just amazing group of people over there. Every time you go there, you're going to see something new. Ask for Captain Mayhem. Amazing tours.
Yep.
So knowledgeable about pirate history and everything else there is to know about it.
Flag category on Jeopardy just the other night. Well, actually, it was probably we tape it, so it could have been 5 days ago. But they had a picture of the skull and crossbones and said, "What is this?" And the answer obviously was Jolly Roger. And Julie and I are going, "We saw one of the original ones at the Pirate Museum."
There you go. There's only two in existence,
real one.
right?
Yep. And they got one.
All right. And by the way, we got some great snacks from Yamo. He dropped it by the studio. Just said, how was that bread?
Bread's interesting. The sausage was very good.
Yeah, it was a cream cheese garlic bread, and then an Italian beef and sausage spendini pesto burrata.
I'm not sure where the pesto or the burrata are in that, but okay.
The pesto you can taste in there.
Okay.
You can taste it in the thing. I don't know the burrata side of it.
Right. Well, that'd be the cheesy stuff.
All right. Not to be outdone with amazing food is our guy Kaiser.
Oh, baby.
So, did you guys make it over there yesterday for lunch?
We haven't.
No.
You didn't make it yesterday.
I was busy.
Okay.
I was. It's it's a holiday season. I gotta wrap the gifts. Gotta get ready to go.
Yeah. But if we were able to time travel to early today, then maybe we can do it.
Yeah.
Well,
we should have done it.
Well,
yeah,
we can try.
But over there they got the best pastrami in town
By far. Absolutely,
I'm telling
by
you,
far.
To me, it's the best deli in town, and there are a couple quality delis in town, but nothing compares to Kaiser's.
And the effort he puts into it, and like I keep trying to explain to people, if you are a beer aficionado, he's got the best selection of bottled and canned beer in the city. I will go out on a limb and say that without hesitation. He curates it. He's got some phenomenal beers there, and his wine selection is beautiful as well. But his beers, he's got probably 30 different beers, and they're just all over the globe and all over the flavor profile.
Yeah. All right. Last but not least, Coquina Coast Realty. I'm selling a house this week. My childhood home.
Ooh.
Selling it this week. So
it's got to be a little bittersweet. I would think.
It's a little bittersweet.
I would think so,
but I mean, it's one of those. Got a good price. It was hard to keep up with. It's an older house, and I don't live in it anymore, and we weren't using it as much as we would like to.
It's not geographically accessible for us, but for somebody in DeLand, Main Street, USA.
I don't like debt, so
there you go.
I'm getting myself out of debt. So
appreciate that for sure.
All right, but give Coquina Coast Realty a call. Phone number is 904-669-7901. 904-669-7901. Word origins. I don't even know what your word origins are this week. So.
Well,
tell me what you got, because you are as cute as a button today.
Would you like to follow through on that thought?
I was like, gosh, if anything, Lenny is as cute as a button, and I was like, where the hell did that come from? And the best thing
my mother probably told you that.
Yeah, she's the only one. I asked Julie, like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. But it came from British 1890s, around that area.
Okay.
And it you can put cute as whatever, and it kind of all started about that same time. Cute as a bug's ear, all of those things, all of those as's came to be about that same time, using it in a literary term. And then it became cute as a button became very popular more during the 50s and 60s, and the poodle skirts and stuff like that.
Okay.
And that's kind of where cute as a button really kind of took off. And everybody knows what cute as a button is.
But let me ask you a question.
Yes,
Do you
sir.
know any really cute buttons?
No, I've seen some cute buttons.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
I've
right.
seen some cute buttons.
I'm not talking about campaign buttons. I'm talking about on your shirt, brother.
No, I've seen some
All
cute
right,
buttons.
okay.
Yeah, I got some
Little
I got some
horns.
designer. I got some really cool designer shirts that have some pretty amazing buttons on them.
Had a couple of jackets that had like little horn buttons.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, but that's it. It's 1890s Britain is where it kind of started to gain some literary, but it really didn't become popular until the mid 20th century.
Yeah.
All right, what you got?
Well, I won't be accused of this too frequently. Making a mountain out of a molehill. Now,
Well, sometimes our stories we do that.
yes, we and enjoy doing that.
Yes.
True. And just at the base of it, little molehills look like little, small miniature mountains, tiny mountains with all the pebbles and stuff built up on them. But it's basically making a big deal of a small issue. And I may have been known to do that once in a while. But it was traced back to 1548 by a gentleman by the name of Nicholas Udall, who wrote the first volume of the paraphrase of the Erasmus Upton, Erasmus upon the New Testament.
Okay.
So we're getting biblical
I don't
there.
know what that means.
I'm not quite sure that I do either, but this guy Nicholas Udall wrote an explanation
we got a
of the New
Jewish guy
Testament.
telling us about the Bible.
Well,
Okay.
hey, we can start in the Old Testament.
Yeah, you started in the Old Testament.
They all started in the Old Testament. And I'll follow you right through the New Testament, man. Don't get me started on that because lightning strikes through the ceiling on me.
I think we'll be all right. If it hadn't hit us already,
Yeah, right.
We're going to be okay.
It's very true. I've been briefly singed, but I haven't been struck. I haven't been smited.
Yeah,
Smote?
I'm not sure.
Okay. But
I've
there's
been frightened by lightning a lot, but I've never been hit by lightning.
Well, that's why Lee Trevino still to this day always was and still is my favorite golfer. 3 times Lee Trevino got hit by lightning.
Okay.
3 times. I loved him. So there's alliteration in there. Some people think it was just the alliteration of mountain and molehill worked. But the passage that Nicholas Udall quoted from the first volume of the Pharisees, the paraphrase of Erasmus upon the New Testament, was Sophists of Greece, through their copiousness, make an elephant of a fly and a mountain of a molehill. And that was the statement. And he took it and ran.
What year was that?
1548.
Wow.
Goes way back.
That goes way back.
Way back.
Yeah. Wow. That's no run-of-the-mill phrase right there.
There's also a lot of words in there that are very difficult to pronounce.
Yeah. That's not a run-of-the-mill phrase.
No. But
So-
what is run-of-the-mill?
Run-of-the-mill.
Funny I should ask.
I'm glad you asked.
Funny I should ask.
I had to say it twice before you picked it up.
Well, I'm slow these days. It's it's the holiday season. I'm a little laggy.
Yeah, so run of the mill, and it's not exciting. It's I can tell you that my word origins this week. I'm going to give myself a C.
Okay.
All right. So far, I would give that one a B.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
maybe even a B plus because you went back. I mean, close to the time you graduated high school in the 1500s.
Well, that was good. That was look. I was able to carve into a tablet.
All right. So run of the mill basically comes from exactly what you think it comes from. It's
Okay.
comparing it to a textile mill. Mm-hmm. So it's just, it's already happened, and you just keep running the mill, and it happens over again, and it happens over again, and just keep running the mill. You're not adjusting the mill, and it's the same cut of cloth.
Okay.
It's the same cut of wood. It's the same cut of whatever it is.
Sort of undistinguished?
It's average. It's
Okay, all right,
average.
all right.
It just fits in with the others. And it comes from the textile mills, and it's just, you're just a run of the mill.
Okay.
So it's as simple as that, and it goes back to the early 20th century when industry was really taking off, like 1905, 1904, that time period.
Okay. All right. Well, I see your C minus, and I'm gonna probably end up getting a.
That was a C minus. I thought that one was better, but that means
I'm just
cute. If that was a C minus, my cute as a button was a D.
Ooh, then I'm in hot water.
Oh, I've been in hot water a lot.
Because, when I make a mountain of a molehill, I usually end up in hot water.
Yeah, I've seen you do it.
Which is, more times than I care to remember.
I've witnessed you do that.
Yeah. I am my own worst enemy more times than not. It's very true. If you're in hot water, you're in trouble or danger or otherwise unpleasant situation. Mm-hmm. And the only thing I could find to explain on that was castle defenses in, arguably the 1500s. Again, I'm big on the 1500s tonight. I'm not quite sure why. It's Thursday. It's 1500s.
Yeah.
Because in castle defenses, they would boil water, and if people were invading or trying to, take the castle, they would just pour boiling water on them from out there. I mean, boiling oil as well.
Yeah.
But nobody's in boiling oil. You're in hot water.
Yeah.
And that would be it. That would be a way to defend the castle. Would be pouring boiling water down on the invaders and chase them and scald them on their merry way.
Yeah. Wouldn't they use boiling oil and then shoot arrows into the flaming arrows? Into them.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good way to go.
Well, spoiler alert, I haven't seen the film yet, but Napoleon, because I'm reading the historical context of this movie with Joaquin Phoenix, and I've got to figure they couldn't have cast somebody better to be Napoleon. And I'm looking forward to seeing that movie very soon. But there was a battle where he lured the Russians onto a frozen lake. And they're out there in their march, and the lake is frozen, so no big deal because they can all tromp across it until Napoleon unleashes his artillery, and they start lobbing cannonballs into the frozen lake, which breaks through the ice, and now all these Russian guys are drowning in the frozen waters. So I thought that was kind of an interesting approach to that, similar to throwing flaming arrows onto the boiling oil.
Yeah.
Not nice.
Yeah, well, that's the weapon you had of choice.
It's true. It's
So
true. War is ugly. There should be no more war. No more war.
All right, and one of the strange things about Napoleon, the myth, you know how tall Napoleon was?
He was like 5'7".
Yeah, he's like 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah. He wasn't as short, right.
He was actually above average for his time.
Right.
But he's always defined as being a little short guy who stuck his hand in his wool coat.
He had an itch.
Yeah.
He had an itch.
Yeah.
Or some worry beads in there, one of the two.
Yeah, and but one of the most evil people in the world was only 5'3", probably killed more people than anybody else that I know of, and that's Stalin.
Was only 5'3".
He was only 5'3".
Interesting. I didn't know that. He was probably like the governor and had lifts in his boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was
I don't know that.
5'3".
Yeah.
All right.
Wow, that I never knew.
Volcanoes.
Wow, interesting.
Talking about big eruptions.
Boom.
Here. Big eruptions. Which
Sorry,
one do you
Blake.
want to start with, buddy? Start with the big one?
Yeah, you want to go to Tambora?
Tambora.
Ooh, that was the big one. 1815 in Indonesia.
Yes.
On an island that's fun to say. Sumbawa. Sumbawa. Sumbawa Island.
Yeah, I couldn't say it, so that's why I'm leaving everything up to you.
That's why I like that. Yeah, Tambora, 1815, 92,000 people died. Mm-hmm. It was the largest death toll from a volcanic eruption in history. It knocked 4,000 feet off the top of what was one of the tallest islands in Indonesia, tallest mountains in Indonesia. Mm-hmm. Knocked it from 14,000 feet down to 10,000 feet. And it caused a volcanic winter.
Yes.
We talk about nuclear winter because of volcanic winter.
All right. My number was a little lower than yours on that, but the one that really struck me about this explosion was so vertical and so high. They said it went 43 miles into the air.
Yep.
43 miles.
And then...
That's into outer space.
Yeah. The dust clouds circled the northern hemisphere for a year.
Wow.
It was the first volcanic winter.
Yeah.
They called 1816 the year without summer.
Yeah.
What I found interesting is it only lowered the global temperature by 1 degree Fahrenheit, which also leads me to believe that it was much cooler on the planet in the early 1800s than it is now, obviously. Sorry, Greta Thunberg, don't come after me. But it was so strange that they called 1816 the year without summer, and in July of 1816, it snowed in New England, and the temperature was in the 30s because of the sun being blocked out and this volcanic ash cloud that circled the world.
Well, it had to be caused because of all the cars we have on the road.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah. So I mean, I believe we're getting warmer right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't believe man. I think it's very arrogant to think that man is the one who's creating the warmth, because we're sitting on a huge ball of magma.
Yeah, that's very true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where granted, we can do better. I'm not saying
we're
can't do better.
contributory. At the very least, we're contributory.
We can do better, and regionally, yes. But when we start, when things like the volcanoes in Iceland are going off, it's because of global warming.
No, it's not.
No, but that's
no, it's not.
Every opportunist,
apple orange. Yeah.
Every opportunist says those things. We're talking about 1815.
Yeah.
The largest volcano that we're going to talk about today.
Right.
And this thing was so huge, it lowered the temperature of the world.
Yeah. And, of the 92,000 people that were killed as a result of this volcano, it was a few thousand that died as a result of the actual volcano itself. Mm-hmm. The majority of them were due to starvation.
Mm-hmm. Because of famine.
Yep. There were no crops growing the following year. It was horrible. It crushed crops in North America, Western Europe, and good parts of Asia, and they couldn't harvest. So there was no food.
Yeah.
So it's the I wouldn't say the law of unintended consequences, because nobody was planning on a volcano, but the corollary effect of these things is pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a big one.
All right. The volcano, and that's. We could talk about that one all day long.
It was the biggest.
It was the biggest.
Okay.
It was so far back we don't have a lot of details, and thank goodness it wasn't as Indonesia wasn't as populated as what it is today. It could have been in the millions lost.
Yeah. The way Indonesia's packed in now, for sure.
It could have been in the millions lost at this point.
Yeah.
But one of the and you might be able to help me with this, because you did some research on this, on the volcano stuff, and I know you dive deep.
I do.
You dive deep.
I do.
One of the 7 wonders of the world is a volcano in Mexico.
You were talking about this, and that's confusing me. By the way, were the Northern Lights one of them?
Yes.
Okay.
They were the one that I was the most worried about, because all the other ones, if you go there, you're going to see it.
Right, they're stationary or they're physical.
You just have to go there.
Right.
Like next year, we're planning. Right now, if it's scheduled, it's either next year or the year after that. We're planning on going to the harbor of Rio de Janeiro.
Okay, and I was curious. You mentioned that, and I'm curious.
That's one of the 7 wonders.
Just the harbor itself. What's so wonderful about it?
It's just how deep it is with the cliffs and everything. It's beautiful.
No, I was just curious what the significance was.
But I can tell you. Yeah. It's going to be hard to beat Victoria Falls. It's going to be hard to beat the Grand Canyon. It's going to be hard to beat.
Does it beat the Bay of Fundy?
Yeah, I don't even know.
The Bay of Fundy, where you
I haven't been there yet.
The tidal drops are like 8 feet.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet.
Okay, but let's back up just 1 second, because we haven't actually had a chance to talk about this since you've been home. How are the Northern Lights?
I can tell you right now, the first 2 nights we were there, we stayed in the city. It was cold. We went out to where the Arctic Ocean is, or whatever it is, right there where the water is, and it touches Reykjavik, and we didn't see anything. When we had cover the first night, we weren't expecting. The second night it was fairly clear, didn't see anything. Third night we're going to a restaurant. We have a cab driver, Siggy. And we're like, Siggy, hey, we really want to see the Northern Lights. He's like, well, where have you been? We're like, we went to the rooftop of the hotel. We couldn't really. We're still
light pollution, maybe.
We're still in the city. And he goes, I'll take you to a spot. So he takes us to dinner. I call him back. Siggy, come get us. We're at the same spot you dropped us off. He picks us up. He starts driving. Rebecca and I look at each other and we're like, we're either going to die or we're going to see the Northern Lights. Those were our only 2 options.
I'm Team Siggy. He ain't killing you.
All right, so we get out, and it felt like he left us sitting on top of the North Pole. Probably one of the coldest situations I've been in. There's a lighthouse further outside the city, and we literally walk out to the end, go look up, nothing really, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, whew, getting a little cold.
Well, you had a
I'm
beautiful
thinking-
woman to snuggle with.
I'm thinking, yeah, but you're bundled up, so you can barely. It's like the kid from A Christmas Story trying to hug another kid from The Christmas Story.
Okay.
It's nice to have companionship, but there's not a lot of contact. So I'm sitting there.
I tried, Rebecca. I tried.
We tried to make it happen. And I'm like going, okay, I'll give it about 15 more minutes because I'm dying. Florida boy dying. And
What was the temperature? Did you notice?
it
Just
was
out of curiosity.
like 22 degrees, but the wind was like 30, 40 miles an hour.
So you were below zero.
Oh,
or
yeah.
close to it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
All right.
we were below freezing for sure.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it felt like it was like 5.
Right.
So is what the reports were. And as we started to kind of look, and all of a sudden it just appears.
Wow.
And it goes over top. It's green. And I can tell you this, the pictures actually, you know how the pictures don't do it justice?
Right.
In this situation, the pictures do it justice.
Nice.
So, and Blake, if you want to pull up, like from my Facebook, I don't know if you have the capabilities of doing that, but I posted a couple of pictures of it. Okay. But what doesn't show up in the picture is it would start straight out in front of us, go directly over top of us, cover the entire length, and it felt like if you looked and followed it, it felt like it was bouncing back and forth.
Wow. Yeah, it's on the list. I would really, really like to see that in my lifetime.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And that's I can tell you, I was very happy because it's one of the natural wonders of the world that you're not guaranteed to see.
It's random, exactly. Right. Yeah,
and I kind of did a little bit of research of our best scenario of when it might be there and stuff like that, and we got very fortunate because that's the only night we saw them.
All right, but you did, so
Yeah.
it makes the trip totally worthwhile.
Oh, completely.
As opposed to just a wonderful trip, it made it a super wonderful trip.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm very happy for you.
Completely made it worth it. I mean, there was probably my favorite part of the trip was we were supposed to go to the Blue Lagoon, but because of all the volcano activities,
hence the topic, right?
The volcano activities and earthquakes and other stuff, they didn't open the Blue Lagoon hot springs, so we decided to go for a horseback ride in the mountains, and I'm really
that's just cold.
Yeah, I'm really happy we were able to do that because it was quite enjoyable.
See any trolls?
I was the only grumpy old troll there.
Okay.
So yeah,
they're big on trolls there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was a ton of
trolls.
Yeah, little
Yeah.
fake ones, but yeah, I didn't see any. I didn't see any live ones running around. If that's what you meant.
Well, and little troll houses on the hills. Like in a lot of places, particularly in Hawaii, however, they've redirected highways under construction to avoid indigenous burial grounds. In Iceland, if I'm not mistaken, they move highways so not to go over where the trolls live.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I didn't.
I'm pretty sure
that was not.
Yeah.
I might have slept through that part.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I think trolls are very, very big in Iceland.
All right, but the other 7, one of the other 7 wonders of the world, and I'm still not 100%. I guess I'll have to wait until I get there.
Yeah, this is a confusing one. Go on.
It's in Mexico. It's called Paracutan, and it's in the Michoacan Guanajuato volcanic field. Mm-hmm. And it erupted like in 1943 for about 10 years.
Okay.
And it is considered one of the 7 wonders of the world.
Natural,
and,
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
That's
natural. One of the 7 natural
Right,
wonders of the
yeah.
world. Not like the Great Wall of China or the
Right.
pyramids and stuff like that.
Huh.
So, but it's a more recent one compared to a lot of the other ones that we talked about.
But do you know what distinguishes it enough to make it one of the 7 wonders?
I've seen pictures of it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to actually get there and see why.
Okay.
Because I would assume like you're saying, I don't get the Everest easy. You understand why Everest is. Victoria Falls easy.
Right. Yeah.
Grand Canyon, you completely understand the magnitude of how amazing that is.
Certainly.
Great Barrier Reef, you get it.
Especially with an aerial view, for sure. When you can see the scope of it, really helps.
But This one I don't understand. In the harbor of Rio de Janeiro, I don't understand.
Yeah, that's
So
the one I was asking about earlier. That's
Yeah.
confusing to me.
Yeah, so I don't know why those are there.
Good publicists?
It's another one that was once much taller,
Right.
and it lost almost 4,000 feet of peak itself.
Yeah.
So all that had to go somewhere with ash, and it's
Okay.
another one when it blew, it brought down the temperature
Yeah.
of the world.
Yeah.
So, and several of these, as I was reading, I didn't realize that was a natural effect of bringing down the temperature of the
Yeah.
world. So, I mean, I read that on 3 or 4 of these huge volcanoes. Did you know that existed before you got into it? That it
That it
lowered
would-
the temperature?
Well, yeah, I knew that there was a volcanic winter, and I knew that the ash cloud would blot out the sun. I didn't know. Now I'm just kind of wondering if that's the answer to global warming. Just to ignite a couple of volcanoes.
Yeah, just spark a couple.
Yeah, and then just make sure you have
Come on,
enough
Iceland, we're rooting for you.
Make sure you have enough food for a year, because otherwise it's going to be tough to harvest anything.
Yeah, we'll send you some food. You take
That's
care
it.
of cooling down the world.
Exactly. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's like a volcano is actually the world's air conditioner.
It seems to be.
But I never associated.
And also it's light damper because it just
Yeah.
blots out the sun.
Well, I never associated the two together until I was reading,
No, yeah.
reading and
Yeah.
researching
Yeah.
this show. So, all right, what you got?
Well, on that I could go to the Ring of Fire is interesting.
Okay,
The Ring
tell
of
me
Fire.
about the Ring of Fire. Like, I know the song.
By the way, did you know that before Johnny Cash sang it, it was June Carter's sister Anita sang it first, and Johnny Cash took it and made it a hit, both in 1963.
Yeah.
I found that out today in just looking up at the Ring of Fire. And the Ring of Fire I was looking up was the Pacific Rim,
Okay,
which I found interesting too, because in retrospect, I thought it was the entire, anything that was coastal Pacific, and strangely it's not, because Australia's outside of the Ring of Fire. It curves, I guess, east of Australia. It's got 15 countries in the Ring of Fire, and it's basically, coastal Pacific, the eastern coastal Pacific, and then it cuts down into the western Pacific. And there's 15 countries: Indonesia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, the Philippines, Japan, the United States, Chile, Canada, Guatemala, Russia, Peru. The Solomon Islands gets some recognition there. Solomon, Mexico, and Antarctica.
okay.
But Australia is west of the Ring of Fire.
So
And
New Zealand's in,
Australia's out.
Australia's out,
Figure that one out. Yeah.
and I believe today's the day New Zealand was discovered by Europeans.
Really?
An anniversary of it. I
Okay.
think that's
Was that Cook?
might have been yesterday. No, it wasn't Cook. It
Oh, it was Hobart.
Yeah.
Was it Hobart or
I-
Tasman?
Tasman.
Okay.
Like
it's-
Tasmanian devil.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay.
Oh, it's Tasman.
Yeah, I love Australia. I was
Yeah.
there. They
No,
died on the
New
wrong side of
Zealand.
the road. I know, but I love Australia. I wasn't in New Zealand yet.
Tasman found not Australia.
No.
No.
Australia.
Because Australia's outside the Ring of Fire.
Exactly true.
Am I trying to
it's-
confuse you?
It's hard to do.
Yeah.
I don't need help with that, but it's
Okay.
difficult. It's difficult for an outsider to do. It's easy for me to do from the inside.
Okay,
that's fine.
You're doing great.
Deepest trench in the world is in the Pacific, inside the Ring of Fire, and it's where the two tectonic plates on that side of the world meet. And there's some conjecture that at some point, and I would like to believe probably not in our lifetime, probably not in Blake's lifetime or Blake's children's lifetime or Blake's grandchildren's lifetime, live long and propagate. It's going to create the largest supercontinent on the planet.
Okay.
Somebody came up with that. It wasn't me. I'm just passing the news
talking
along.
about the two plates.
Correct.
Rebecca and I stepped between the two plates, and
Were you in the water?
no,
Okay, because a dear friend of mine was diving in Iceland, and he went down, and he went like this and like this, and he was touching, the North American and the European parts of the continental plate. So you did it on dry land.
we did it on dry land.
Oh, so much easier.
We did it on dry land, but it was a bigger gap than that.
Okay.
you can't touch
Right.
the two. So
But that's impressive. But that's again, I keep coming back to time. We talk about things. I keep coming back to where you are in the world because of geographical features, and that's one of those things that's pretty amazing. That you're betwixt and between Europe and Eurasia and the North American plates.
here, the thing that amazes me still is I can wake up in Florida and by the end of the day be in Iceland.
Yeah.
Or I can wake up in
Yeah.
Florida and by the end of the day be even in Italy.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is so much warmer and better food.
yeah,
Less mutton, right?
both. You know what? It's time for us to do.
Appreciate our sponsors.
Give some love.
And I am appreciating our sponsors, as a matter of fact.
We're giving some love,
Yeah.
and we're talking about here Abare Sherry Cask Finished Bourbon. It's a new release from St. Augustine Distillery.
Just in the very recently.
The last couple weeks. And it is a sweet sipping bourbon, and it's got a little bit of kick at the end.
Yep, it's a little hot.
But it is at the very beginning. You can taste it on every section of your taste bud.
It's got nice flavor. It really does. It's got nice flavor. It really is.
Touches
it's delicious.
Every place on your tongue and every place on your. So check it out. Great Christmas present. I guarantee you. They haven't tried this yet,
right?
You know,
No,
and it'll if you got a whiskey drinker in the family, that would be a perfect present for him. St. Augustine Distillery.
It's my plan on Friday to go up there tomorrow and go up there and get it.
Yep.
Yeah,
So, all right, talk about how great Meehan's is while I take a sip.
I think Meehan's is just fabulous. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to Julie. We will go to our traditional Christmas Eve celebration up at Johnny's Oyster Bar and have a couple dozen oysters, a bottle of wine, maybe a mac and cheese or drunken clams. But that's where Julie and I have spent Christmas Eve the last 7 years. And it's always wonderful. And I need to just make sure how late they're staying open because it's a Sunday night and it's Christmas Eve. But I'll check with Reg before that's over. But we also need to, we've got so many friends that work there. There's just such kind people. They're just such knowledgeable people. It's a great place. The menu is great. Reggie's got his new menu in. I found out that their wings are a 2-day process.
Yeah.
I always used to be amazed at how, in the best of St. Augustine, Meehan's would come in second for wings, and I'm going, but they're not a wing house. They're
just actually all their food.
It's excellent.
Is award-winning food.
They put a lot of thought.
I can tell you right now. I was in Iceland. I went to all their best restaurants with the best reviews and all this stuff. None of them came close to Meehan's.
No, it's hard to do. It really is.
Yeah,
it really is.
And their bourbon over there is terrible.
Well, they don't got a lot of corn to make it from, so
their bourbon's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nowhere near Kentucky, I can tell you that.
No, it's not. As a matter of fact, it's many thousands of miles away.
All right, Abare, Kresge and Associates, they are the best CPAs in town. I got to figure out how they're going to make that Iceland trip a business trip. I'm just joking, Billy. I'm not going to ask you to do that.
If you had filmed anything for the morning show or Bollox there, we could be talking.
No, I'm not doing that to Billy. Doing it to my man.
I'll challenge him.
But
apparently you're challenging enough.
But I can tell you, I'm challenging enough with all the different businesses I have. But Abare, Kresge and Associates, they are the best. You start a new business. We want to start an LLC. Give them a call. They'll talk you through the process. They'll do the process for you. But if you think you can do your taxes and save money by yourself without them, you're wrong. You're just wrong.
Don't be pushing a button on one of those tax services online that you get for free.
Nope.
No. Talk to a tax professional. It costs you a couple $100. I promise you in the long run it will save you more than $100.
Talk to somebody who's looking out for you, not just a computer. All right. Talk about St. Augustine Pirate Museum, your experience there.
Fabulous place for adults, fascinating things for adults, and really mesmerizing for children. And they set it up well because they've got a scavenger hunt that the kids can take and go running around there. They've got cannons booming. They've got all sorts of stuff there. And I keep coming back to the one thing that at some point in time I would like somebody in that museum to gift me that beautiful, I'm going to go Turkish or North African dagger because it's got a curved blade on it.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's Turkish, but
it looks
beautiful.
like if you get hit with it, you're like, I'm dead.
Oh, yeah.
Like you touch it wrong and it's like, I'm dead.
And it's beautiful. But the fact is that the artifacts they have there are legitimate, real live artifacts, or real dead artifacts, I guess, as the pirates may be. But and you go there and you learn stuff. Pirates. We have this great romanticism of pirates. These pirates were, they had 2-3 year careers. There was not a lot of longevity in piracy.
Yeah, It was worse than being a running back in the NFL.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. All right. Coquina Coast Realty, commercial, residential, rental properties, anything you want to deal with, give me a call. Coquina Coast Realty, 904-669-7901. All right, don't want to linger on that one too well because we got to talk about the best deli in town. And the best deli in town, wait for it. Blake, what's the best deli in town?
Kaiser's Deli
Thank you.
Yeah.
and Market.
And Market. What's your go-to sandwich?
It has to be the White Street
The White
Nice.
Street pressed.
toasted.
Toast it up. Toast
Okay.
it up.
Your favorite sandwich?
Mine there is probably the Cuban because I know the love and care that Kaiser puts into the pork that he marinates for 3 days.
And it's
before
called
he
the what?
roasts it. It's the El Tiante, named after Louis Tiant.
Louis
One
Tiant.
of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball and an adorable and lovely human being.
Great dude.
He really is. He's just a nice man, and he was a hell of a pitcher.
Yeah, great guy.
Yep.
Great guy. I
Yep.
mean, and it is a great sandwich.
It really is a good sandwich.
Sandwich isn't as close as the great guy, but it is as close as you're going to get
Right.
with the sandwich.
Right.
All right.
And his house-made daddle pickles are on that. You know, Kaiser makes his own daddle pickles for that,
wow.
and they're fabulous. Oh yeah, they're really great.
Excellent.
Kaiser's he just keeps trying to see new products. He's not afraid to go out and try something new. He's got and I'm hoping to after the new year be able to announce a new avenue that Kaiser's Deli is going to approach.
Okay.
But I'm going to wait for the okay from Kaiser himself.
Yeah. So we need a Bollox sandwich. I'm just saying. Kaiser's. I can tell you right now, mine is still the Rolly. You know, him Rolly and Kaiser worked together for so
Years and
long,
years.
and it's a takeoff of a Reuben with a little bit more pepper to it, a little
Yep.
more kick to it, and to me, it's my favorite sandwich over there.
All right, so we're gonna have to work on a Bollocks. I accept
we
that.
need
I
a
accept that
creation.
challenge.
We need a creation of a Bollox sandwich that the three of us, because Blake's
All right.
a little tougher palate.
Yeah, but
than
we're
you and
working
I.
on him. We're working on him.
He's
We'll
a little
get-
tougher
we'll get him
palate
there.
than you and I because
We'll get him there.
he rarely steps out of his comfort zone on meals where I think you and I will be like, oh, is that a yak's ass? Okay, we'll try that once.
For sure.
Yeah.
But you know what? Look, I used to do a lot of stuff when I was back in Long Beach, and there would be career days, or when I had my restaurants, I would be invited to go and talk to a lot of elementary school classes, middle school classes. I did a lot of politics in a senior honors government class. But the thing that I kept doing with the third graders and things like that is, you know what? Work on making an informed decision. Try something because, if somebody says, do you like broccoli? Do you like mushrooms? Oh, I don't like broccoli. I don't like mushrooms. Have you ever tried broccoli? No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Try it. One or two things will happen. Either you try it and you like it, and that's great because now you have something else you can, or you can try it, and if you don't like it, then when somebody says, you want mushroom? No, I've tried them and I don't particularly care for them, and you have a frame of reference and you make an informed decision.
All right. So I'll give you chef status. I like to cook. I would give you chef status of where you're at and where you've created restaurants, and you have earned your chef status at your mighty young age of 79,
173,
74.
yeah.
It's up there. But I can't tell the difference between a great truffle and a good truffle.
We talking chocolate truffles, or are we talking out of the ground pig, dog, found truffles?
Found truffles.
You've got your white truffles and your
Chocolate
black truffles.
everybody can tell that.
Right,
But
yeah.
but I'm talking.
there was a time
I'm
where
talking
teaching-
like a truffle that's this big.
Right.
That can cost $1,000.
Right.
And a
you know-
truffle that's this big and can cost $15.
Right.
I can't tell the difference between this one and this one.
Well, we're so over enthused with truffle fries nowadays.
Yeah.
Every menu's got a truffle fry, and they use truffle oil.
Those are this ones.
Yeah,
Those are these.
absolutely.
Yeah. I'm talking
absolutely.
about it's like truffles is gold.
A white truffle, a black truffle. When I was in restaurant school, one of the greatest professional chefs I knew was a pastry chef, but he knew everything. A man by the name of Nicholas Malgieri, who is still to this day one of the best pastry chefs in the country, if not the world. Did a lesson in class, and he had just gotten a truffle, and he made a bunch of scrambled eggs for the class, and then proceeded to shave the white truffle on the scrambled eggs, and that was how we tasted the truffle for the first time. And this is back in 1980.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I tasted a legitimate truffle in that fashion. When we were in Croatia, when Julie and I were in Croatia, truffles everywhere.
Yeah.
I brought some home. We've got some. We didn't get any dry truffles.
I mean, I love the flavor of truffles.
Absolutely.
But I think it's wasted, I guess there has to be a truffle sommelier or whatever it is.
Right.
I think it's I don't know if I can tell the difference between this and this. Like in bourbons, I can usually tell.
Right.
And that might be part of my problem. I drink too much. But
then you know things.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes me smarter because it kills the weaker brain cells.
Right. I think the gig with the truffles is the freshness. I'm going to use pungency, but not in a bad way. There's
no good pungent.
No, but there's kind of a funk to a truffle.
Uh-huh.
And again, you're just shaving them. Either you're doing flat slices or you're grating it, and it really works out well.
Well, Barry uses truffles
all over the place.
All over the place.
Yeah, he does. One of his dishes, the truffle Masamoto, or
it's amazing.
It's a great dish. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one.
It's amazing, but yeah. I don't know if my palate's sophisticated enough to tell the difference between the two. And I know his can.
Yeah.
Yours probably is much better than mine. But we're talking about volcanoes. I'm sorry, I totally got us on truffle.
Hey, good truffle's a good thing.
A truffle trip.
Well, just oak trees and oak forests. But now and it used to be France and Perigord and where the truffles came. Now Kentucky is like the hotbed of truffles.
Wow.
But there was
that makes me nervous.
Well, but they have oak forests there.
Yeah.
So, it's a fungus. It grows.
That makes me nervous now.
But the interesting thing is, just one last stuff on truffles, now there's a little bit of a backlash because apparently some of the, they used pigs, but they couldn't control the pigs that would find the truffles because the pigs would find them and the pigs would eat them before the guy could get there and get the truffle from the pig. And I'm not putting my hand in a pig's mouth.
It's trouble.
No, that's how Jerry Garcia lost his finger, Trying to take a truffle out of a pig's mouth.
Are you serious?
No, not in the least. I use that as a cautionary tale.
I was going to say that sounds a little.
Oh no! Jerry Garcia losing his finger. It's my cautionary tale for anything that's dangerous. That's how Jerry Garcia lost his finger.
Yeah.
But now I've just read, and recently in the last week, a lot of articles about truffle hunting dogs are perishing at an exorbitant rate for some reason, and I got to delve into that a little bit more. But it's tough being a truffle dog.
I didn't even know there was truffle dogs.
Oh yeah. Instead of the pigs, because they control the dog better than the pig.
Why not? Well, pigs are smarter.
Pigs are smarter, but pigs, they're smart enough not to give up the freaking truffle.
They're smart enough not to give it up.
Exactly right. Whereas the dogs you can train.
Yeah.
Or have a shock collar on.
Yeah.
Which I hope is not the case.
And pigs won't eat anything that'll poison them.
Okay.
You can't poison. You can't really poison a pig. You can poison a dog, but you can't. It's hard.
Right.
To poison.
Yeah. Well.
It's hard to poison a pig.
Yeah.
All right.
Did I mention a volcano?
Oh, there is a volcano. I want you to pick between these 2 years.
Okay.
All right. 79 AD.
Vesuvius.
Don't ruin this.
Well, give me the other one.
I didn't even give it.
What's the other one? I just want to see what the second one is.
Well, I just wanted you to do. Let me finish the question. No wonder Julie punches you.
Ow! You want to see the bruises?
No, you
want to see the bruises?
Every one of them.
Ow!
Try this again.
Good.
All right. I'm gonna give you 2 years, and you're gonna shut your yap.
Good luck.
79 AD.
Okay, not a word.
All right. Or 1980.
79 AD.
79 AD.
Yeah.
All right, you know what the other one is, right?
I do very well.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you already said it. You already ruined the whole segment. But now Mount Vesuvius.
You think nobody at home is scoring for the
They knew what we were talking about, but you didn't
We don't.
Mount Vesuvius.
Boom, it went.
Bam.
Yeah.
All right. So no one saw it coming.
No.
No one saw it coming. I mean, they had to hear some rumbles.
They were Romans, man. It could have been digestive system after all those eating orgies.
Mm-hmm.
All those bacchanals.
What?
Yeah. So, what's one of the things that really stood out to you about Vesuvius?
Well, a couple things. First of all, the fact that they were able to say that 3,360 people died because of Vesuvius. And how the hell did they know that? In 79 AD, they were able to, I hope it was a guesstimate.
The census weren't great then.
No. But, there's these, the Titanic traveling exhibit of the Titanic artifacts and stuff.
Uh-huh.
There's an exhibit of the treasures and the things that they got from Pompeii and Herculaneum that was traveling, and I saw it in Manhattan. there's an exhibit hall in Times Square that does things of that nature, and it was fascinating because they had bodies, which were kind of voids, and what happens is when you get covered in all that ash, the ash stays and the ash solidifies. The body inside eventually disappears. It just is. It goes. It atrophies. It becomes atrophy and it melts and it gets out of there. But they had all these.
It's almost like making a sculpture.
Pretty much exactly what it was.
Creating a sculpture around the body.
And so many of these people were in the terms, I think, the pugilistic pose.
Yeah.
They're like exactly.
Yeah.
They're fighting. They had a whole mess of the mosaics that they were able to recover from Pompeii and Herculaneum.
Yeah.
A lot of them, oddly, were
preserved,
and were also pornographic, believe it or not, because there were so many bordellos there, and brothel. I guess it was a brothel as opposed to, I don't know, whatever the term would be. And then they had things from the villas. They had mosaics, but the things that were really gut wrenching were the sculptures. Is the best way to describe it. You're right. But realizing at one point in time, those were people.
I think the one that got me is the mom and child that were in place. And if you get a chance to look at the Vesuvius, and it shows them on the ground, and the mom's trying to protect the child. Yeah. I mean, it just shows how quickly it hit them.
Right. Oh, that was just bang.
Yeah.
And it was, and I keep working on this pyroclastic flow.
Okay.
And ash. The ash is what ended up covering everybody, and the pyroclastic flow is the heat and the lava. And that's just, you're done. You're toast.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Sorry, Vesuvians.
All right, so the last one we're going to end on, and actually I wanted to kind of get to, did you read anything about Lackey, Iceland?
No.
All right, so Lackey, Iceland was the biggest volcano. We're talking about volcanoes in Iceland. So I wanted to know what the biggest one in Iceland's history was.
Okay, when was that?
And it was in 1783.
Okay.
All right. So it was June 8th, 1783. It lasted 8 months.
Ooh, that's a lot of rumbling.
Yeah. So and it was over 1 million tons of sulfur dioxide gas.
Tough to breathe.
So, and it basically it affected the global climate again, and it created cooling again. Damaged crops. It led to widespread famine, disease outbreaks, and in many parts of Europe, not just in Iceland,
right?
But many parts of Europe.
Well, the prevailing winds blow west to east, so it would have gone from Iceland over into Europe, I would think.
But listen to this one. This one's the one that really caught me off guard because it created such a horrible situation in Europe. The impacts of the Lackey eruption were felt around the world with unusual weather patterns, crop failures observed in many regions. It estimated the eruption caused deaths of around, take a guess.
Couldn't begin.
6 million people.
Wow.
Yeah. Either directly
it makes Tambora look like a volcano come lately.
That's what caught me completely off guard. All my other readings, it was just how it affected Europe directly so hard with I'm sure there was other weather factors and some other things that hit.
That's spooky.
But it's saying the deaths, it was directly or indirectly of the deaths of 6 million people.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's scary.
That's like losing half of New York City.
Yeah. At least.
Yeah.
At least.
So, but that was Lackey, and that one was. I just want to give a quick talk about that one.
Before we go any
Mount St.
further,
Helen.
I need to clarify something for all you scoring at home. This is very, very important. Get your notes out. Okay. Krakatoa is west of Java.
Uh-huh.
Just for the record. The movie Krakatoa East of Java was one of the first real disaster movies in 1968. Called Krakatoa East of Java, because they thought East was a more dramatic name than West. But Krakatoa,
so they geographically moved
for
the title.
They did. And Krakatoa is west of Java, should anybody ever ask. Should that come up at trivia?
Depends if you're facing north or south, right?
No, west is still that way. Don't do that to me. You know how easily I can be confused with left and right. No. That's not fair. Oh no, you may be dyslexic with letters. I can't tell my left from my right,
it
man.
caused a pause. It caused a pause.
It did.
That's where humor is. It causes a pause.
Exactly. And we are humorous.
Yeah,
Ask us. Some of us are timorous, some of us are fibula, but most of us are humorous.
All right. The first real volcano that I knew about was in 1980.
Yep.
I was at Southwestern 7th grade center in May.
But you weren't in 7th grade. Please tell me
I
you
was
weren't.
in 7th grade at that time.
Oh, you are just such a young man.
In 1980, I was in 7th grade, and I remember exactly where I was, and I was like, damn, it's about time that thing blew. But you remember the buildup
Oh, yeah.
of Mount St. Helens.
Yeah.
We saw it was coming. People still stayed there.
Yeah.
They were still fishing on the lake around the corner.
Right. Fortunately, only 57 people died in Mount St.
Yeah.
Helens. It did take 1,300 feet off of the top of the mountain, made it 1,300 feet shorter. Do you know they had called Mount St. Helens, the Mount Fuji of America?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because it kind of looked Mount Fuji-esque, which it does not any longer.
No, it's got a little pimple in the middle.
Little
indentation.
truncated.
A little indentation.
Yeah, a little truncated.
Well, and I can tell you, it's in the state of Washington, obviously, and it had been dormant for almost 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
And Mount St. Helens, to me, when someone says volcano,
yeah,
I associate it to Mount St. Helens.
I can understand that. That's in our lifetime. It's in our geographic perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It just reminded me of something. When I was traveling around with a couple of buddies of mine after we graduated college, I saw Crater Lake, and that's a caldera that's now got a lake in the caldera.
Yeah.
And then there's a little cone in the middle of it. It's fascinating. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, you know what? We're at the end of our show.
Again?
Yeah, it happens every week.
We just pack, but we pack a lot into our
every
hour.
week. But I want to say thank you to you guys for watching. I know we were off to a very slow start. We stumbled all the way through it. Appreciate you sticking with us. Hit that share button if you don't mind. Hit some of those like buttons. We got to help this algorithm build up. Visit our sponsors. Take care of them. They take care of us.
Absolutely.
Next week we're going to talk about
Christmas traditions, I
family
believe.
traditions, holiday traditions,
Yeah.
all over the world. Weirdest ones. We've done something similar to this. Derek and I have.
I got a couple confusing ones for you.
But I want it to get weird. I want weird holiday. That's why you're here, Lenny. That's why you're here.
I feel roll so well.
But thank you guys so much. I enjoyed this topic. I learned a lot of things.
Yeah.
Some of the things just blew my mind. 43 miles in the sky.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That's
We
in
didn't
outer space.
even get to the Yellowstone caldera.
No,
We're not getting to that one. We're not getting to that. I want to sleep tonight. Just end the show. End the show.
And you know what? And I agree with that.
All right. So thank you guys. Hit that share button. We appreciate you. This is Bollox Talks and Tangents. We'll see you next week.
Peace out.